always say, you are the architect of your own, you are the architect of the outcome of your life. So if you want to sell, it will not fall on you. You need to be what? Intentional on it. You need to what? Put steps. You need to put steps in place. How many videos have you watched? Mr. Nick came up here one day and said something, and the thing got to me, and I had to stick to it and try to see how I could, become a better version of myself. He asked the question, how many books have you read this year? Almost everybody, nobody really brings down to say they have been able to finish one book this year. Now you want to become a salesman, you want to become this. How intentional are you towards this? Are you really building towards getting to this place you are looking at? Or you are just hoping and saying, God, it will happen. People will say, the sales will come, you say amen. I was coming today and something was just going through my mind. And I just told to myself, I said, for every dance you see in that group where you see people start throwing sticker. I know my sales people here were going with. For every dance you see where they start throwing sticker, is 1001 no, is 1001 rejection. Anybody that has made sales here will agree with this. For every time you begin to hear congratulations, there has been a very, very strong back end going on. You talk to this person, you say, you talk to that person, you say, sometimes they go back and forth up until the money drop. And most times when the money drops, we forget to follow that procedure we use to get that particular result. So what am I trying to say today? For us to become anything, a better version of ourselves, we need to be what? Very intentional about it. If there is someone that inspires me here very well, is this young man here, Joe. The result might not be very, but there are some certain principles he has set for himself, and he tries as much as possible to follow them. Most of the times, I can rest assured you, as far as you are in this 21st century, this world of Gen Zs and social media, just someone said something, we were having a discussion, and he said something, he said, if you are sad, the only thing that can make it worse is if you don't have data. But if you have data, go to social media. You will see things that will make you laugh. Same thing, if you want to become a better version of yourself, if you are intentional about it, you can become a better version of yourself. Yes, okay, I'm a salesman, but do you know that you can do more? I'm a videographer, do you know you can do more? As we all know, the place we are looking at is just because we don't have what it takes now. That is why we are still here. So in anything at all, in any time of your life, any time at all of your life, that next step you want to take, ask yourself, have I really put in the work? There's this video Dr. dropped, it's called Code Calling. I tried to watch that video, and Dr. said something very striking. He said, to be the 1%er of any career, you need to put at least 10,000 hours into that thing. At least. You want to be a better lawyer, you want to get a better salesman, it's 10,000 hours. And we will see that from bringing it back home, Dr. Steve here. If it was me, I'm just bringing it that way example, which I know it also resonates with me from here. Doctor has flown from the US to London, from London he flew to Nigeria. If it was me, and I know most of us here, so I will first of all go to the hotel and relax. At least I had a 6 hours flight. But of course we agree that it's very, very intentional of Doctor. Immediately he's landing from the airport, he's going straight to one of his estates. Any state at all he lands. When he came to Lagos, the same thing. Immediately he landed after how many months he has not been in Nigeria. He did not go to see his family. They are very important to him. But the first place he went, straight to his estate. And that will bring us to that passage of the Bible that says, wherever your treasure is, that's where your heart should be. So we that wants to make that money, we that want to become good salespeople, we that want to become the number one stock person, are you really intentional about it? Are you really putting in the work? This is a question we all need to go with. Are you really putting in the work? Are you waking up at night to put in these calls, make these calls, or you just, everybody have their own problem going around them. But when you begin to show them, because to me, the way I see sales is when you begin to show somebody a better option than what he thinks he knows, sales will happen. I want to buy a bed, like you are beginning to paint a bed to me that if I don't buy a bed, I'm losing. Sales definitely will happen. So as a salesperson or as a videographer or whatever is your field, how intentional are you? Those ahead of you, because in every point of our life, we always have people ahead of us. Those people ahead of you, how many of them are you following? How many of them are you conscious about how they live their life? How have you tried to put those things you see them do? How have you tried to do them in your own secret time? Because that is when you start seeing the results. Most of our great sales people here, without mixing word, I can tell you, most of our great sales people here, if you see the back end, some of us won't want to. Some of us won't want to. One of the typical examples, sorry I'm mentioning it, but one of the typical examples is Miss Vivian. I don't know if she sleeps, but if she does, she sleeps from 3 o'clock or thereabouts. Her best time to work is night. And that's the time most of us are snoring. And tomorrow we see her closing 12 o'clock, see her closing 6 o'clock, and you are jealous, or you're thinking you want to do. But she's putting in the work. The intention is there. So please, my brothers and my sisters, what pattern have you created and how are you following it? Because it's one thing to have the intention. Every of us here, if I start asking from left, right to left, every of us here has one intention or the other. So I believe we are all seeing the Canada Strip. Hello? We are all seeing the Canada Strip, right? 5 days from 13 to 18. We are all seeing it now. Who doesn't want to go? I don't want to go, raise up your hand. So all of us wants to go. All of us has the intention to go. So what will now make us go? I think that's the next. What will now make us go? The thing that will make us go is just 2 things. Number 1 is action. Number 2 is consistency. These are the 2 key words that makes my own intention different from yours. That makes it so different from this guy. The action he takes and how consistent he is. If you get these 2 things right, it's just a matter of time. It's just what? A matter of time. It's one thing to have the intention, it's another thing to have action to it, and it's another thing to be very, very consistent on it. Keep doing it, keep tilling it, it will come. One of my greatest scripture that I almost every day I recite, I hold it very key, is Ecclesiastes chapter 11 verse 5. It says, when the cloud of food it will empty itself, bring us to the nest. Whatever it is you're doing, to me the way I see it, you are filling your cloud. Whatever it is you're doing, those calls you think you are making, you are what you are filling your clouds. Those videos you are editing and you are making mistakes, you are what filling your cloud. When it becomes full, my dear, it's just a matter of time. You start seeing it coming, you start seeing it coming, you start seeing it coming. So what does that tell us? Let's keep putting in those work. Let's keep putting in those work that we know that will take us to that place we are looking at. Put the right actions to your intentions you have as a human being. I want to make that sense. How many people have you called? How many people are you following up? Situation where you see a stop and you try to reach out to another person, add to their own knowledge to make it better. So, as sales people here, I will tell us to please, it's good to have intention. Very, very beautiful to have intention. Very perfect to have intention. But it's even more important to put action. And when you are put action, be consistent with those actions you are putting. Because it's in those consistency that the sales will begin to come. It's in those consistency that the results will begin to manifest. where last 2 weeks or thereabout, when we were having the onboarding section, and I was talking to the interns, and one of them asked a question, and the question was, sir, there is this client I've been calling, he stopped taking my call, and I laughed. I just told him that in every salesperson, each and every one of them here who agree with me, there are clients that doesn't take our call again. Why like matter? It's always like that. That is one of the what is even telling you is you have started. When people start avoiding your cover, you have started. Because why? I'll give you a very typical example. Now I want to buy it, maybe I pitched it, it's very nice, I want to buy it. And I'm expecting the funds to come in, and maybe within that time my son fell sick and I have to take him for operation. With that funds I want to use to buy a bed. It depends on the relationship we have built with that customer or that client. For the client to now tell you, my brother, I'm sorry, I cannot buy this bed again. Some of them, because of their ego, they'll start avoiding your call. And you on your own, you will now think, have I done something wrong? But my dear, you have done your best. Or what? The client doesn't just have the money at that time. Just keep keep pushing. If it's for the result, it will come. There was this client I was talking to, he stopped everything, sent form for GVest, and the Monday morning, he just called me, and I wrote one long story. I picked the same story, sent to Madam Lydia. She told me, Michael, this same energy I used to follow this guy, follow that people, so I will not buy. The thing was that she didn't even tell me sorry for all this struggle and struggle. She just told this same energy we are using back, she can follow other people. This one will not buy. Why? It shows she has seen this in her way to where she is currently now. So I will say, let us not just have that intention of wanting to make sales, because if we open our hands here, we ask everybody, I'm very, very sure, each and every one of us wants to go to Canada. And what will it take to go to Canada? Just sell 300 million. And you go to Canada. Sell 100 million homes, you go to Canada. But when you are now intentional about it, it's very good. It's okay. Going up now, I'll be intentional. Let me even check how do they sell home. You want to check in your social media. Believe you me, it's that time you open your phone to want to check that one funny skit will come out. Make I check this skit. When you check it, another one, the junior brother will follow. Before you know, you have lost it. Why? Because the action you are supposed to take to blot out all those distractions. We are in a very fast running world now that if you are not careful, you will just be passing time and you wouldn't know. So for us to make that mark, for us to make that result, we need to be intentional. Or it goes more than being just intentional. If there's one thing you learn today, know that the action you use, the action you back to your intentionality with, and the consistency is what will give you that result you desire. You want to make sales, what are the actions you have taken? You want to make sales, I think the first thing you want to make sales, the first thing is lead generation. When you generate the lead, you now start calling them and you close. Have you tried to look at how do I even first generate this lead? You need to first of all understand it. When you understand how to generate the lead, then you now start looking at how do I, when this lead comes, how do I close it? This will now bring me to something very, very that is common to most of us here. Doctor can give me a lead and give Joe a lead. The tendency of me closing that lead largely depends on what I am doing inside. The tendency of Joe closing his own lead largely depends on what he has built inside. If we watch very well, we see that most of the people that close doctors' lead are the management staff. It's not because it's partial. I can rest assured you that most of those leads, if they give it to you, they will wahala you. But because they have built those tactics and those stamina inside, they can be able to maneuver and get the right question. The typical one is, I just want to throw one now. They give you a lead, and maybe with doctor, the person has discussed, okay, I want to do 50 million naira GVest, and they drop the lead to you and say, take this lead, this person wants to do 50 million naira GVest. Now this lead comes to you, be rest assured that he will not just say, send the account. It's a very rare occasion that a lead will just come and say, send the account, I want to make payment. It's a very rare occasions. The lead will first of all want to hear from you. And most times it's the way you compose yourself, it's the way you comport yourself, it's the information you give the lead that will even determine whether the lead will finally pay or the lead will not pay. A lead comes, I want to do 50 million naira, and you start talking, and maybe the lead now asks you, this one naira is doing like dollar is beating naira black and blue. What is your advice? Should I keep doing naira, or would you advise me to do well? Or would you advise the person? The person already has what he wants to do in mind. But do you know that if you give that person a better judgment or a better argument, you can as well close that person. So what am I trying to say? Let us, in our own little space, in our own little time, be putting in those work. As we have those intentions, let us be putting in those actions consistently. Because a day will come, it will drop on you. And as the saying goes, you cannot draw, you always draw nothing out of nothing. When the cup is empty, then nothing will come out. As far as their cup is empty, nothing will come out of it. So if there's nothing you have been building, when it drops on you like that, it becomes a bad thing. So a take home for us today will be, as we have the intentions, it's very good to have those intentions, but let us put corresponding actions to it consistently. You want to be a good salesperson. How many salespeople are you following? How many of them are you doing what? Because again, Papa Oyedepo will say something. If you want to know me, try as much as possible to see my heart beat for God. It's one thing God will say. You want to see why all these things are happening. See my love for God. Know that there is nothing God gives me I cannot drop down. So again, you want to become a good salesperson. You want everybody to be hearing about you. You need to put in the work. Go back, listen to some of Doctor's video. You will know that the guy didn't just arrive there by chance. He didn't just arrive by chance. He has been putting in the work consistently. There we had, real estate masterclass in Echo Hotel. I asked him a question and I was like, sir, the company's Facebook page is supposed to have more traction than your own personal page. And he said something. He said, my brother, I was consistently building this page. He said for, I think, the last 2 years, I've been putting out 2,000 videos every year. 2,000 videos. But the day my wife used to give me food, the day I'm not feeling like it. Because another thing about intention is you need to kill your body, you need to kill your feeling. Because if it's what your body wants, you won't get there. And he said it. And you could see that if Doctor posts something on his page today, and we post on Holdings or any of our page, before 2 hours, Doctor is already having thousands of comments, thousands of likes. Why? Because he has consistently built that his page, and he has given himself to them. Doctor can come up to say, I'm one of those that started this, and nobody will argue. Why? Because he has been that intention. He didn't just stop at having the intention of wanting to have 35,000 home and 200 estates. He started from where he is, which was starting from 1, and now we have 30. And before that, our dream year, we might even have what we are looking at, or we might even surpass it. So it's one good thing to have intention, but what action are you taking in that intention you have? Each and every one of us here, most especially the sales people, one of the reasons why we left our home, to come here this morning is to make sales. But what corresponding action are you using to match that intention you have? And how consistent are you? It's a question, I don't need an answer. It's a rhetorical one. Answer it in your own private time. Thank you very much. Any questions? Okay, so addition, please. Addition is allowed.
It's not like a question.
An addition, yeah, is allowed.
Thank God for this powerful. As it was talking, I just kept on remembering years back when I was trying to write JAMB, and I was this kind of guy that I usually teach my fellow colleagues. But then those that I taught, they got admitted, and no, I didn't get the admission. I was always calling 270, 260, but then it was not forthcoming. But because I was really intentional, okay, I will go to the cell, everybody goes to. So that intentionality came with persistence. That okay, no matter what the results is, I'm making. So let me say that even when we are intentional, sometimes the results might not come like that, but then we should just be persistent.
Yeah. Which was why I gave us that scripture. When your cloud is full, you get the admission. Now you're in cloud, right? That's it. There was this friend of mine. After I finished secondary school, we told ourselves that we were going to go to the university, have lofty dreams. I said I was going to get 220. He said he was going to get 250. We didn't leave it there because I'm a social science student. I was reading almost everything I saw. God is my witness. Almost everything I saw. We have to tell ourselves we need to, need distractions, and we follow through. At the end of the day, as God will have it, I got 227. He got 251, but he still did not get into the university. I actually got it. But today he's a graduate. So what am I trying to say? Our time might not be the same, but are you putting in the work? It's a very good place to ask that question. Barack Obama became president at 44. He left the White House at 55, if I'm not mistaken, at 55 or thereabouts. That position he held is the position almost every American is dreaming to have. Donald Trump had a taste of it at 70 plus. You can see the age difference. At 55, Obama has almost gotten to the peak of what everybody in America is moving to have a bite of. At 55, he has reached his own zenith. While at 70, Donald Trump is still trying to become president. So it might not come the same time, but yet again, are you really putting anything in? And so that's the major key. The intention is good. Are you persistent? Are you putting in things continuously? I want to reap a harvest. Have you gone to farm? Have you cleared the ground? Made your ridges? Pull your distance? Come to read it? Have you done all this before you are thinking of harvest? So yet again, the actions that back our intention is what gives us the results. Don't just put one action and you go to sleep. But you can use the word persistent, you can use the word consistent. They are all in the same secondary school. Any other contributions? Or question? Okay, question.
So speaking about consistency, if you get to a stage whereby you don't feel like giving up, then you have not tried enough. You have not tried enough. I could remember when I was aspiring for an institution, I wrote JAMB almost like 5 times. And JAMB, jamming me. not because whether I'm not wise or I'm dull, but Nigerian happened to me. So the system happened to me. But it got to a stage when I wrote the third one. I told my mom I'm not going to school again. There is nothing you can tell me. And there's one thing about people from Ekiti States. If you are conversant with anybody from Ekiti States, we usually read. And we don't just read, we read to the top. If we start picking up something, we make sure we finish it. And if you are not reading, whether you are learning any trade, you learn it to the fullest. So in our household in Ekiti State, you either see either 5 professors, 7 doctors, blah blah blah. My late dad was a medical doctor. So my mom said something that triggered me. Said, look at your brothers. I have 3 senior ones. Look at your brother. He came out as the best graduating student. He got this award. Look at the third one. He came out as the best. She told back to the grad will you now say you will not read? In the future, don't come and blame me. Omo Kaya. And I said, guy, my own must not be different. And I put on the next one again. Bam. I got polytechnic when I was actually aspiring for university. I never knew God had planned for me and everything worked out. So whenever you get to a stage that you don't feel like giving up, then that means you are not trying enough. So keep on pushing, and the end result. This is me again. I'm looking sweet, looking out.
Thank you so much. It's okay. I have a question.
Because this notion of don't give up. Make I see what don't give up and everything. It's something that we say every time. Yes. But then again, I like to see myself as a pragmatic person. I like being practical. So we all understand the fact that it is quite law, whether you like it or not, you cannot get everything you want in life.
Yes.
So at no point does it become okay for a person to let go of an aspiration or a dream and just do something about it.
Yeah, video is. So, doctor dropped the book in deep, knowing when to quit and knowing when to keep going.
Okay, I'll not ask you the question.
but I read the book. This was it says that you, of course, before you start something, you have a vision of where you are going. So if you are about to start, you look at people who are already there, go back to their process and see that you are working in that line. Now, if you are working in that process and it still seems like the result is not forthcoming, number one, it depends on how strong that vision is and what you feel like. Let's say you are looking out to be a student of Harvard. Let me use that, it's a very big deal, right? And you are looking at, if I become a student of Harvard, my income is going to be at least monthly $100,000. But then you are trying every means to apply for Harvard, you fail first year, you fail second year, you fail third year. Will you now decide? It's now up to you to decide if you will do that goal, work on other things, or keep working on other things while you still keep chasing that goal. Now, in the book, it says that the things to quit is most time not necessarily the goal. Do you understand? But some of the processes you are trying to use to hit that goal. I don't know if you get the picture now.
Yeah.
So if your goal is very, very deep, very, very strong, it is not the goal you quit, it will be the plan of action that you should change. That's my own answer for that.
Any other, I will still talk about any other questions, okay?
Sorry, I would like to share. Before my because we are here like sales and before I made my first sales, I was like, God, when is the sales come? Every morning you got to my like, how God, am I doing wrong? Is it that I'm not doing it? And before I made that first sales, it was that month I was supposed to complete 6 months after my NYC that I posted to this place. And I was like, I called a man, I need to talk video call. Let me even call this man. What is holding your investment? And he said, Martha, this one that you call me video call, who call is well. I said, yes, I want to really see you. I want to see why you haven't invested. And he said, you make me share the cost of 1 million. And then I was like, if it's even empty, if it's just 1 club, I just want to break this barrier. And I called him, he said, okay, he will send his nephew to come and collect payment plan. On getting your name, he said, no, they need to go and see the ballet. He needs to carry his lawyer. I was like, God, what is this? So the consistency of a thing, I kept pushing, I kept trying. That was what led me to when Mr. Twain said I should begin to call people that are here to collect their payment. And And I was like, I just checked the man provider. This man, he's done with his payment. I kept reaching out again. And the first week I reached out to the man said it wasn't showing that interest that much. But on this fateful day, it was on Monday and it was even evening. As I picked up my call, this man, what happened? I called him and I tried to persuade him, put this thing, put Isaac, put everything, and the man came to the offer. And I gave him just 48 hours. That if he wants at this current price, you get it, make your payment within 48 hours, and it is. So we just have to keep pushing, consistency.
Okay, so to get your research, Joe got it very correctly. That's your goal you have. Maybe the way you are chasing it, you are not going. If you follow that route in your head that you have already carved out, you might not get to it. But keep building. Doctor told us something. He said he loves to speak, but he knows that if he continues this speaking of a thing, he won't take him to where he wants to go. He delved into digital marketing and he started building capacity. He started becoming a brand. He delved into real estate. And you know what is doctor doing? Speaking. Are you getting it? Why? Because he now has that, there's a stage you reach in life, you can do anything. That is where you see some people will tell you, I cannot do my fantasy. You understand? I want to fly the world, I want to do this. And you putting in those work. Because when your cloud is full, my brother, it's empty itself. To be a wake-up call, you want to be wealthy, you want to become one of the best in whatever you are doing, is one book I read the very most. I'll urge each and every one of us. That's what it's supposed to read these 3 books in the Bible. Number 1 is the book of Proverbs. I can rest assured you that every billionaire, you can do the research after now, every billionaire have read the book of Proverbs. You know why? Because who wrote the book of Proverbs? Solomon, a wise man. You want to have a very wise, a very good one. It's there in Proverbs. You want a good business? It's there in Proverbs. After you're done reading Proverbs, read Ecclesiastes. There's a whole lot of wisdom on how to be a smart investor. Ecclesiastes 11 down will tell you on how to be a very smart investor. So you want to be good. Read other books, but please do well to read Proverbs and Ecclesiastes to give you that strong foundation you need. Thank you all very much for your time. Keep on clapping.